Welcome to Childhood Trash, a dumpster dive into our childhood nostalgia, where we re-examine some of the most influential media from our youth in order to answer the question, tragic or nostalgic. I'm your host, Maggie Keating, joined by my co-host,
Pia Lapaka.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know either.
So Pia, what are we doing today?
Today we're talking about the Polar Express. Everyone's favorite creepy Christmas movie.
And if you haven't seen it because you're scared, I'm just going to reiterate what I said last episode, which is get over it and watch it. Because
okay, what is scary about this movie?
a lot of people are terrified of, like, the animation style.
I think it's creepy. I don't think it's scary.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's creepy.
And it's like,
It's unsettling.
It has intense moments, and it's a little unsettling, but if you look past that, I don't know.
I definitely don't like the animation style. Like, I don't prefer it.
It's really weird, and, like, they tested something new, and it didn't work, and so they never
And they haven't done it since. Yeah.
But, like,
they've never made a movie like this ever again.
I think what it is, like, they were trying to, like, animate the movie how the books are drawn. Like, the actual book is, like, animated. They, like, tried to bring that to life, which is a little weird.
Well, I looked it up once. Because I was like, why is the Polar Express so creepy?
Yeah.
And what I found, should I not say this?
No, I was going to talk about it in the facts section. So
okay, so what I found is that they did motion capture, and they motion captured everything but the eyes.
Really?
And that's why the eyes don't align with
the eyes are
what,
very...
The eyes don't align with what the, like, person is doing.
Yes, the eyes are
and
very,
so that's why it's
dead.
creepy.
The eyes are dead and a little creepy. And the mouths don't always move at the right time.
Yes.
But, like, I don't know. There's just something very, like, charming about the animation of this movie for me. I don't know why.
Now, do you watch this every year?
Yes.
Like, without fail?
Yeah, without fail. I love this movie.
And
I'm going into this conversation just putting it out there that I love this movie.
That's
a lot.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I think this is my favorite Christmas movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I watch this every year, for sure. I think it's one I get to sometimes, but because I watch a lot of Christmas movies.
Like, this is Narnia levels. Or not Narnia. Whoa. This is Halloween Town levels for me.
Oh, okay.
It's like without fail, I have to watch it. And
I
love it.
And I think I hadn't seen it in, like, a good 3 years.
Right. And
I think I have a different opinion about it than I did.
Interesting.
Definitely as a kid.
Okay. We'll get into that. We'll get into all of that. But there's so much about this movie. There's so many people involved in this movie that you will know. Like, it's just a crazy...
Tom Hanks.
First of all, Tom Hanks is everything in this movie.
He is this movie.
He is this movie. This movie wouldn't exist.
He is the Polar Express, actually. He's the train.
Like, I think he plays, like, 5 roles. Something like that.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
if I count it, it's the dad, it's the train conductor, it's the, like, hobo. It's Santa. And there's one more, I think. I can't remember.
Is he the other people on the train too? Like the other people working on the train?
He might be the chefs and stuff. I'm not sure.
No, like the coal people?
Oh, perhaps. I think I have it written down, but I was just trying to guess. So there's a lot about the making of this movie that is, like, really...
I literally would love to know, because I don't really know anything about the making of this movie.
Basically...
Give me your little report.
Here we go. This is my report. So one of the conditions of getting the rights to this book to make it into a movie were that the film would not be animated, which is weird. So they did a secret third thing.
Which is whatever the hell this movie is.
Which is whatever the hell happened here. But the director felt like the live action version would be, like, really hard to do. Like, it would be a $1 billion movie instead of, like, a couple million. Not a couple hundred million. Yeah. They decided to, like, maintain the style of the art in the book because it's part of, like, so much of the emotion of the story is, like, just what everything looks like, which I love so much. And then Tom Hanks and the director, Robert Zemeckis, something like that, acquired the rights, and they decided to film the movie with motion capture in, like, a black box stage, and then animate the film sort of, like, on top of that. It was, like, a weird type of acting, like, Hanks was talking about this a little bit, like, actually, like, it was, like, a return to acting that films don't always allow you to do. It's like you're performing a play, pretty much. Also, like, the kid that plays the main character in this, do you know who it is?
Do I know who it is?
Yeah, do you know who, like, did the motion capture?
No.
It's our fave, Josh Hutcherson. When he was younger. He did and you know who voiced him?
Josh Hutcherson? Oh,
Junie.
He did the motion capture, but he didn't do the voice.
He didn't do the voice, but then Junie from Spy Kids did the voice.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like this
Why
movie
did they
is
have
like,
two different actors?
I don't know. I think Josh Hutcherson could have handled the voice perfectly fine, but maybe
I
he
think
was like
Junie
too old.
could have handled the
body.
The body.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe Josh Hutcherson was just better at like acting, and Junie was better at talking. But
it's like a High School Musical situation.
Oh. Okay, so the fifth role that Hanks plays is the voice of the small child, like the voice of the boy that we don't know his name.
You do know his name at the end.
What is it again?
I forget. But I love him. Mm-hmm. He's my favorite character.
Yeah. And he like dubbed that role. So he did that, but then like somebody dubbed over him.
Oh.
Yeah. But like originally he was the one that like did everything.
Okay.
Which is really interesting.
Why do you know why they did that?
I think that Tom Cruise was like the only actor on set besides like Josh Hutcherson. What is happening? What is happening?
I didn't know Tom Cruise was in this movie.
Oh my god. I'm like having a Tom Hanks was like the only actor on set.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, except for the like little boy. So Josh.
I feel like he was really wanted to be involved in this movie, but I'm like really curious of like why this was so like important to him.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just he loved the story.
Yeah.
And Hanks like literally carries this, and
that's true.
He's like I think perhaps the reason this is so good, the way I didn't know that it was one guy doing all those voices until I was like much older.
Yeah, I mean,
like watching that as a little kid, I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I picked up on it, but I think it was told to me pretty early.
Yeah. And for the longest time, I could not tell if this movie was like real people or not.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm. Like when I was younger, like first of all, something I have to say about this movie, and like one of the reasons I love it so much, it's so visually and audibly satisfying. Like the sounds, like the sound quality in this is just like otherworldly. Like everything is like so crisp and like interesting. Like I just think like in the beginning when the train is like pulling into the in front of the boy's house, there's like a metal frisbee like rattling against like a heater, and it's like making such an interesting sound, and then all of his like things are like clattering around the room, and the way they like the tickets and the way that the hole punch sounds, like it's all just so like crispy, and like his footsteps on the snow.
Yeah.
It like feels, it's like very comforting for some reason, because it feels so real but also doesn't look real at all. It's like really strange.
It reminds me of like a video game.
Yes.
Like,
well, they did make a video game out of this, and it looks like The Sims a little.
It looks, I was thinking, to me it looks like kind of like The Last of Us animation style.
Too. Yeah.
Like, because it's very, like, it feels very real, but is just a little bit off. Like, hair is too shiny.
Yeah.
Like, textures are a little off.
Weird. Not a lot of, like, facial movement.
No.
The other thing is, like, I think also something that is so, like, incredibly beautiful in this movie is the light. I don't know if you noticed, but, like, the way they, like, use light in this is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's, like, you can, like, some of the characters will be, like, glowing because there's, like, sunset or, like, sunshine like right on them, and they look magical.
Yeah.
Or like the way the in the beginning specifically, there's like this shot of the boy like peering through a keyhole and like looking into his sister's room, and the like glow of the light on her is so like so comforting, and just like I feel like the light is just super important, especially when you're like animating ice and water a lot too. I think it looks really good if you don't look at their faces too hard. Like if you squint a little, it's like
if you take off your glasses,
yeah, it's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, but anyway, we can get into the plot. That was my little spiel about how much I love this movie.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So it's Christmas Eve night, and
the boy named Billy
why is there only one name on this then?
Sorry, Billy's the younger boy. The like.
Okay,
the one
I
that
love
sits
Billy.
alone.
That's fine, but Billy is the only name on this.
He looks like a John to me. I would call him John.
No, what's his name?
I feel like he doesn't have a name.
He definitely has a name.
It could be anybody. He doesn't have a name. You know?
Hero Boy.
Yeah, I think he just goes by, like, Hero Boy.
Why the fuck doesn't he have a name? Anyway, the main boy. That's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
The main boy is sleeping when he's not sleeping, and he hears a noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
a clatter, maybe.
Yeah, so basically, like, we're introduced to this character, and he's, like, growing up a little bit, and he doesn't believe in Christmas anymore. He doesn't believe in Santa Claus.
He's not sure.
He's like doing a lot of like research to find out if it's real or not.
He's like
all
Googling.
These, like,
he's like, is
newspaper
Santa real?
clippings and like all of this stuff to be like, is Santa real? And eventually, though, like, he's, like, trying to hide in bed because he's, like, trying to catch Santa, sort of, like, his parents, and, like, they're walking around, and the milk and cookies are out, and there's a rattling. And it's like, he's like, what is happening? Like, this is not normal. There aren't train tracks outside of his house.
Yeah.
But the train just, like, pulls up, and it's the Polar Express, and he, like, goes outside because he's like, literally, what is happening? Mm-hmm. And he is introduced to our conductor, who is so funny. Like, so funny. I love him.
Before, when he's on his way out the door, he grabs his robe.
Oh, yes, he has. And he's wearing his little PJs.
Blue robe.
Yeah.
They're all wearing their little PJs on the train. He grabs his blue robe, and he pulls it off of the bedpost, and it rips a hole in his pocket.
That's very important.
Which is important for later.
And the conductor, played by Tom Hanks, is like...
Everyone played by Tom Hanks.
Is like, you know, like being like, oh, get aboard, like all aboard.
He's like, do you have your ticket?
Do you have your ticket? And he's like, where are we going? And he's like, why, the North Pole, of course. It's like so funny. It's his little bit. And eventually he decides to get on the train, even though he was like a little reluctant at first. And
well, he like literally lets the train start passing him by, and then he's like, never mind, I'm going. I'm gonna go. And he like literally like has to like chase it down to hop on it.
Yeah. And he starts to meet, like, the other characters, the hero girl and the know-it-all boy. And the know-it-all boy is, like, the guy in the yellow sweater with the glasses. He's got such a... Like,
I love him. He's so funny.
He could be, like, 30 people in my life, I swear to God. And, like, they're on the train, they're all meeting each other, like, we're going to meet Santa, we're going to the North Pole. Like, they're having a good time. They're singing the little Polar Express song, you know. That's all I know.
Didn't remember that this was a musical.
But the weird thing about it
kind of a musical
is that it's like not a musical, but like at times it's a musical.
At times it becomes a musical. There are 3 separate songs in this.
Yeah.
And like full songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. Like, because I always remembered the Hot Chocolate song. Because like...
Hot. Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Because that's so like funny. Iconic. Yeah. But then there's a whole like Billy solo... And then there's, like, the song At the North Pole. Like, there's a lot of
music in this.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
I love it, but it's okay.
Is there anything you don't love about this movie?
No.
Okay.
No. So...
This is not a critical review.
No. This is not a critical review from Maggie at all. Everybody just needs to know that I love this movie. And so eventually the train stops to pick up another child. Billy!
I love Billy. Billy in his fucking nightshirt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's like, he seems younger. He's smaller than the rest of them.
He's got really big old ears.
Yeah.
Oh,
his ears
I love
are huge.
him.
And he initially like doesn't get on the train.
Yeah.
And so a similar thing happens where the train starts pulling away, but he isn't able to catch up because he's so small. And the hero boy, like the main guy, pulls... Josh Hutcherson, sure, yeah. He pulls the emergency brake to allow Billy to get on the train.
And then Billy gets on, and he gets on in his own separate car, not with anyone else, and he's all by himself.
He's, like, literally so sad and alone.
And it's so sweet. And then it's the tickets.
And then it's hot chocolate. No, it's hot chocolate time.
So then it's hot chocolate time, and...
This is so iconic.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, we got it. Hot. Hey, we got it.
So these dancing waiters come out, and, like... And he's like, the conductor comes out, he's like, would anyone care for some refreshments?
Yeah.
And he's like, and then the waiters come out and they like pour all this hot chocolate, and the kids are all like guzzling down hot chocolate. And the girl, so sweet, love her to bits.
Love her so much.
She takes the cup of hot chocolate that she gets and puts it under her seat, and then gets another cup for herself. Right. Because she saves it for Billy.
So all of the little dancing chefs and like waiters, they leave. And they decide to leave, and she is like, okay, I'm gonna go give this to Billy now. And she's like got her little extra cup of hot chocolate, and then the conductor finds her and is like, oh, like, I'll go with you. You shouldn't cross alone. And they're being really cute. They're like, did that young boy get refreshments? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, we have to deliver them. It's like so jolly. And our little like hero boy sees her ticket on her seat after she leaves. And he's like, you need your ticket. He, like, is trying to, like, give it to her and, like, go cross the thing by himself. Oh, my God, this is so fun. You're like, why are you doing this? He, like, lets go of the ticket, and then the ticket goes on a little adventure.
It does.
Which I love.
It goes out the window. It goes under the train
to the wolves. It's running by the wolves, and then there's like an eagle. Yeah. And the eagle catches the ticket and brings it to its bird baby, and then the bird baby is like eating the ticket, but then coughs it up, and then the ticket goes like over the train tunnel, and then like goes through a vent, and like is like back in the car. Yeah. It has gone on this whole journey, but it ends up back in the car of the train.
The conductor is like, "Where's your ticket, girl?" Yeah. And then she's like, "I don't know. It was right on my seat." And he's like, "Well, you don't have a ticket. I'm gonna do something for you." Yeah. And then he like takes her away, and the main boy is like, "Oh no! Like I lost her ticket. Like this is all my fault. Let me go like explain to them." And so he like follows them, but then he loses them. And what else happens?
So he follows them and like basically like to the last car of the train. Yeah. And he doesn't see them anymore, like they're gone. So they kind of like go onto the roof is what he has figured out of the train. So they're on top of the train. He sees
figures on the roof. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it actually is them on the roof. But he sees figures on the roof, and so he goes on the roof. And this is where we meet
the hobo.
The hobo ghost.
Love
because
him.
Every Christmas story needs a hobo ghost.
Yeah. There's so much crazy stuff with this guy. Like he literally like
you remember his like first line? He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm looking for a girl." He's like, "Aren't we all?"
Aren't we all? Yeah. So basically, the hobo ghost is like, "You want a cup of joe?" And he's like, they're going through all this stuff, and
it's not even coffee. It's like sludge.
It's like sludge. Oh my god, I can like feel that though. I can like taste it, and like yeah, it's very tangible. Is this the part where they go skiing?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're like. He's like, "Oh, you need to get to the front of the train? I'll help you." And the hobo guy, like, gets these skis on out of nowhere, and he's, like, skiing down the train, and they're like, "We have to hurry because we're about to get into a tunnel, and we won't be able to stand up here anymore." And they're, like, skiing around on the train. It's so good. And so once they get to the front of the train, the boy finds that the girl has been just, like, put in charge of the engine, literally conducting the train, while the two conduct, like, the engineers or whatever are trying to fix the, like, light bulb on the front of the train. Yeah. They're so funny.
The guy with the really long beard, he's so silly.
I know, and the two of them are just, like, dangling from the front of... They're just, like, little goons. Yeah. Dangling and doing, like, the bitch work. It's so funny. And, like, while they're replacing the engine's headlight, they, like, start seeing, like, a bunch of, like, something is blocking the tracks. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, stop the train. And everyone's trying to... The two, like, the little boy and the girl... Oh, I love this moment. Oh, my God. They're, like, trying to figure out how to stop the train. And she's like, "They told me it was this one." And he's like, "Well, that looks more like a brake." And they're, like, kind of having a little debate. And she just, like, freaks out. She panics. She's like, "It's over." And she goes like this. And then the boy, like, is going to pull the lever that he thought was the brake. But at the last second, he trusts her and pulls the actual brake. And the train stops right before they hit literally, like, millions of caribou.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this shot is so funny. When the guy goes, like, face to face with the deer. It's, like, breathing in his face. I love it.
So, to get the caribou off the track, they do what anyone would do. Yeah. And they discover that by pulling this guy's beard, he makes a caribou-like noise. And so that's what they do. They pull his beard, and they make this noise, and then the caribou just kind of scatter. They leave the tracks, and then they can go on their merry way.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so cute. But then... everyone's like, like nothing can go right in this movie. They cannot have a single moment of peace. Thing. On the way to the North Pole, it is not peaceful.
On the way to Santa,
yeah,
it is not peaceful.
We're having like the journey of our lives right now.
Yeah.
But basically, the boy and the girl and the conductor are standing like on the front of the train while everything is going, and they start speeding up a lot, and they're like, "Well, we're going a little fast. Maybe we should tell them to slow it down in the engine room or something." And the pin has broken, basically.
Yes.
So they
have this whole silly little, like, the pin's flying around, and then he, like, catches it in his mouth, and he, like, swallows it or something, and he's like, it's going everywhere.
It's literally insane. And basically, they are, like, sliding over this frozen lake, this whole entire train, just, like, whipping back and forth. And I'm like, I was literally like, people died. People had to have died. Like, it's crazy.
Children were found dead.
Children were found dead. The train falls under the water at one point, like the back, while they're like sliding to connect with the like tracks on the other side of the river. It's such a funny, like, I don't know, this is another one of those moments that like is so like visually and audibly satisfying to me because of the sounds of the ice breaking, and then like they're aiming to like get on the tracks. It's so like, it's so good.
And they're like, steer this way, left, right, left.
And eventually they do get back on the tracks, and they're off to the North Pole. Ooh.
All is well.
So they go back to the seats with all the kids, who are all fine, by the way. People would have died, but whatever.
They're like, whoa, did you see what happened with the... No, all guys like, did you see what happened with the train? We were almost underwater. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. And they go, like, the girl and the boy go and sit with Billy back in the observation car. And then they do a little song. They do the little Polar Express song, you know, Believe. And there's, like, fireworks or Aurora Borealis. Oh, my God, it was so good. I was, like, crying. So good.
So was that Junie from Spy Kids singing?
No, Junie from Spy Kids is the main boy.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Who's Billy?
Billy's the one in the little pajamas.
No, I know, but who played Billy?
I don't know.
Hayden McFarland.
But yeah,
he killed it.
Yeah, he ate that. And then they get to the North Pole, and the conductor announces that one of the children will be chosen to receive the first gift of Christmas given by Santa himself. And they're trying to get off the train, and the boy and the girl are trying to convince Billy to join them, and the boy, like, accidentally, like, unhooks the last train car from the rest of the train, because nothing can go well.
Nothing can go right in this movie.
And it starts, like, rolling away downhill. It's like a little roller... A lot of this movie felt like a roller coaster.
I thought that, too. I was like, where's the Polar Express roller coaster? Because that is literally this entire movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a roller coaster. And they're, like, going on tracks through tunnels, and eventually they end up, like, in Santa's workshop.
Yes.
Oh, my God, I love this part.
And they, like, end up, like, train car stops, and then there's, like, all these different paths they could go down. Mm-hmm. And, like, the way, like, I felt for the main boy, because I was like, how the fuck, like, are we gonna figure out which way to go? And they're like, we hear the bells. And I'm like, who the fuck? Like, you're crazy.
Yeah,
like,
you don't hear the bells.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't hear the bells.
And so they're like, no, we'll follow this. And so they go down this one path because they hear the bells. And they're, like, going through, like, the kind of, like, behind the scenes of Santa's workshop. Like, they are going, and they end up on this, like, production line, kind of, like, conveyor belt thing.
With the elves.
With the elves. And they find the elves, and the elves are, like, they're just chatting. They're so funny. Can I tell you about one of the creepiest things about this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how the elves are, like, they're talking about, like, Christmas, they're, like, doing their jobs, and they're, like, getting ready to leave. And then they show the screen.
Oh, yeah, this part is weird.
Actual little boys and girls sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, real life, not animated. Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
I don't know, it's really weird.
What the actual fuck?
Really, and then, we didn't touch on this earlier, but on the train, there's also this, like, puppet room of, like, lost toys.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. This movie, like... Okay, maybe I will go back and say that it is a little scary. Like, there are parts where it's, like, so creepy. Like, there were the puppets, and it was, like,
one of them
ghost.
Is Scrooge, yeah.
The ghost was, like, doing the like, what?
Yeah, it's really freaky. It's a little freaky.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I know, yeah. But they're, like, in the elf center, and they're like, oh, naughty or nice. Naughty or nice. Put them on a check twice list for next year, which is funny. There, you know that one loop, the video, like the loop of the kid being like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That's like, literally like burned into my mind.
And then, so the elves leave and they go on this cute little like.
Another roller coaster,
literally. Yeah. And then it goes, and then, and so the kids are like, okay, we'll do that. And so they get on that and they go through this like tunnel, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it's like a roller coaster. It's going all around, and they end up at like it's like a gift sorting office. Yes,
sort of.
And this is where Billy finds his gift, and he's like, "That one's mine. I will literally not leave it. It's for me." Mm-hmm. And so he hops on the conveyor belt, and they're like, "We don't know where this conveyor belt leads, but we have to go get Billy." And so the boy and the girl follow Billy, and they get plopped into a big old pile of presents.
Santa's sack of presents.
And then slowly the sack comes around them and
closes.
closes. Well, it doesn't really close.
Yeah. It's just like...
That would have been like claustrophobic.
Yeah, but then the like stupid know-it-all kid is also in that bag too for some reason.
I forgot about that. No, because literally Billy is like holding onto his present and he's like, something's got my leg! And they're like, what? Like, we'll pull you. And they keep like pulling him up and pulling him up. And then they pull him up one more last time and then the know-it-all kid comes up and he's like, I was looking for my present. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And then the elves like they're lowering Santa's bag of presents onto his sleigh. His sack, if you will. And they're lowering it onto the sleigh, and, like, of course, like, right, nothing can go right in this movie. So as they're lowering it in, like, this giant blimp thing, it knocks into the star on top of this, like, giant Christmas tree.
Yeah,
Christmas
I love
tree,
this Christmas tree. Oh my
which
God.
I need right now.
Yes.
Like, Christmas tree bigger than the Empire State Building. It's so
bigger than
big.
the one in Rockefeller Plaza.
It's huge. It's the biggest Christmas tree literally ever. And the star is, like, toppling.
Yeah.
And it's like pointy. And then these elves deploy from the blimp and they're like going to catch the star because apparently this has happened before. It's like
They're prepared.
They're prepared. But they do catch the star and it like pokes this guy's nose, but that's it.
I love that.
That was so cute.
That was
so cute.
And then the elves like escort them out of the sack. They're like, we knew you were in there the whole time.
Kick them down.
And they like send him back to the conductor, and the conductor's like, where have you been? And I feel like every character in this movie is like a different like cartoony voice.
Yeah, it is.
Like
Where have you been?
Where have you been? And then like Santa comes out and they're like, oh my God, Santa
with the reindeer.
With the reindeer and
the
the bells
bells
that you can't hear.
Only he can't hear them.
Can't hear them.
Everyone else is like, listen to the sound of the bells. They're so beautiful.
And he's like trying to get a look at Santa and he can't see it over everyone's head. And then Santa finally comes out and it's Tom Hanks again.
Of course. And, well, one of the bells like flies off the sleigh.
Yes.
And he catches or he picks it up off the ground and he's like ringing it next to his ear and he still can't hear it.
It's broken. What the fuck is wrong with this?
It's broken. It's a broken bell. Or are you all lying to me? And he's like, fine. I believe. He's
Stupid.
like, I believe. I've seen Santa. And I believe. And then he rings the bell.
But he hasn't seen Santa yet.
He hasn't?
Not at that point.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't see Santa until he looks at the bell. And then Santa's
you're right. You're right. In the reflection of the bell. I love that little detail.
Yeah.
And then he hears the jingle.
Jingle, jangle.
And then Santa's like, oh, hello. He's like standing over him.
Oh, hello.
Oh, Tom Hanks' Santa voice is like, that's what Santa is. That is Santa.
He is Santa.
That is literally, like, there's
Tom
no
Hanks
other,
is Santa.
like, that's canon Santa. So, whatever. That's all I have to say. And he returns the bell to Santa and decides, and Santa's like, oh, you get the first gift. And he gives him back the bell. It's so cute. And the, like, reindeer fly off with Santa.
And they light the Christmas tree.
It's beautiful. And they're singing. What are they singing?
The elves are singing.
You better watch out. You better not cry. That one, I think.
But there's a lot of Christmas music throughout this movie.
Yeah, the rendition of Silver Bells in this is, like, my favorite.
Okay.
It's so good.
But the elves have like a rock band, and like there's little elf McJagger, and he is like, he is like performing.
That guy is played by Steven Tyler from like Aerosmith. He was a judge on American Idol for a long time. It's so weird.
Why do you know this?
I have to do the research for the thing. I have to read it all.
All right.
Yeah.
So then they get back on the train, and everyone's like, oh my God, like, little boy, we don't know your name. What was your gift? Like, what did you get? Everyone show it to us. And he's like, let me just reach out in my pocket and pull it out. And he reaches in his pocket, and he's like, oh yeah, this has a hole in it. And there's no bell in it. So we drop the bell, and then they're like, we can get it, like, we can find it, we'll go back. And then the train starts moving, they're like,
oh no. Oh no.
So he lost the bell, which is like, honestly, L.
Yeah, it is honestly
L.
But then he is like, I'm gonna have a good Christmas anyway, and he goes to bed, and like clearly like no time has passed at all, and he wakes up the next morning and it's Christmas, and there's a little train around the Christmas tree.
Very cute.
And he finds a present from Santa, and it's the bell that he lost. He's like, oh, you left this on the seat of my sleigh.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas from
and then
Santa.
Oh,
this is the best part of the movie, in my opinion, where they're ringing the bell.
Where they're ringing the bell, and then the parents are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they, like, pick up the bell, and they can't hear it.
They can't hear it, but But then it's like
and then Tom
last
Hanks'
scene.
voiceover comes in.
It's so good. He's like,
is he doing the voiceover?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
That's totally
so Tom Hanks' voiceover comes in because it started with the movie where this is all like retrospective, and it's all about this one night he met Santa, and then he comes in and he's like, people could hear. Only some of my friends could hear the bell over the years, and then slowly it faded, and eventually no one could hear it.
But I
always did.
I always hear the bell.
And it's like, okay.
It's for all who truly believe.
Yeah.
It's really cute. So yeah, that's the Polar Express.
That is the Polar Express. I want some hot chocolate.
I had hot chocolate while I watched. It was so good.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I had like a really nice time watching this
movie. You watched
movie.
this yesterday.
I did. Yeah, you saw my story. North on my pole till I Polar Express.
Are you a big hot chocolate person?
Yeah. I love a good peppermint hot chocolate.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna have to get one of those later.
I'm more of a cider over hot chocolate person though.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because I feel like it's more
hot
refreshing.
cider too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So some of the like lasting impact of this movie. First of all, this is like one of the biggest like kids Christmas movies of all time. Everybody knows what this movie is.
Yeah.
It won a Grammy for best like original song. There's like, I don't know if I never did this, but like around me there were like trains that would like be like the Polar Express during like during Christmas.
That's cute.
So you could like go on them. There was a video game that was made. This movie made like a ton of money at the box office. Like the stats were crazy. I just couldn't write them all down. But yeah, this is a classic in my opinion. I always read the book, like the little picture book on Christmas Eve.
I don't think I've ever read the book.
Oh, it's really nice.
No, I've seen it before, but I don't think I ever.
Yeah. It's very good. It's very cozy, just like this movie.
Yeah.
This is like
I feel
one
like
of the
I would like the
coziest
book
movies.
better. I feel like I would like the book
You
better.
might. It's just so like comforting.
Wow, Maggie, what's your rating?
Who knows? Like, it's definitely nostalgic if you ask me. If anything, this isn't even nostalgic. This is still like A++ in my book. I love this movie. What do you think?
I think so. Something that surprised me about this movie is that there's no story. There's no story at all. And honestly, the little story that there is, which is like about this kid who like doesn't believe in Santa, believing in Santa, is very quickly resolved, I feel, and like very like shoehorned in. And I honestly didn't really like this movie. Like
I felt like you hate Christmas.
I love Christmas. Don't ever say that to me. I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of year. I've been watching Christmas movies since before Halloween. But I just don't think there's enough of like a story for me. It just feels like we're going from point A to point B and we're not really like accomplishing anything. But it's more of a journey.
We are. It's a journey of like believing.
But like I don't see the change in the character over the course. It feels like more of a split-second change.
Well, it's like he literally Santa is right there and that's when he finally believes. It takes the whole movie of all this amazing magical stuff.
But like he's not slowly getting more like not you know
I don't know.
It feels
I feel like I respectfully disagree with that.
That's okay. No, that's fine. But I feel like it is one of those like seeing, they kind of keep telling him like seeing is not believing, or whatever. Believing is seeing. And it does take him until like he's about to see him to believe. So like I don't know. And I also think that if you watch this as a kid, you're not really like, oh, this is a movie about a kid who doesn't believe in Christmas and then he does. Like I don't think that's at all like what you're looking at as a kid. I think you're looking at like the kooky characters and the little adventure he goes on. So I don't know. It just didn't really do anything for me.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
I'm sorry for you.
It's okay. And
does
like
everything for me. But I was never.
That's fine.
Even when I was younger, though, I always knew Santa wasn't real.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yeah. I don't know. I just like
Aww.
when I was younger, I like noticed that my dad's handwriting was the same as Santa's, and then I was like side eye, But it never bothered me.
My dad was Santa. My mom was the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cute. Spoiler
That's so
alert
sad.
for any children listening. No, I still believe. We still believe.
I still believe in Santa.
So would you say this is tragic?
I would say it's tragic.
Rating this higher than Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas is crazy. Or like lower, like that's crazy.
But see, I was thinking about Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas while I was watching this movie. Because I was like, Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas, it's showing me the development. It's giving me the character development. It's showing me a story. It's so more than just a journey. It's giving me the plot.
No.
It's giving me, I feel like it was giving more than that.
I just think Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas like wasn't giving the Polar Express. Because it will never be the Polar Express. Nothing will ever be this.
It wasn't trying to be the Polar Express.
It just wasn't like giving Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas is good. I don't think it'll, like, be, like, a lasting movie like this one will. You know?
I don't...
it's not a classic.
I don't know how this is a classic.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, but it's also creepy. Like, it's also
fine.
weird.
It's fine.
Like,
I honestly bet that they will remake this at some point.
I don't know why they didn't do a live action. Like, I could so see this being a live action movie.
I think they could do it now very well, but
Yeah.
I see that back then, like, if you think about some of the CGI that was happening when this movie was made, like, the like, first Star Wars movie, or the prequels,
Yeah.
It wouldn't have looked good. It wouldn't have held up. But I do see that if they made it now, I just
don't think I ever need to see this again.
That's really sad. I'm very sorry for you. This movie is so wonderful in my book, but that is okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. So our next episodes, we're finishing out the year by finishing up House of Anubis Season 2, which I'm super excited for.
I'm really excited.
Because you don't remember
I don't remember
happens,
most of this, so.
It's going to be really interesting to get Pia's, like, raw reactions. I know everything about
I'll send you, like, a voice memo when I finish it.
When you finish it? Okay,
yeah.
Amazing. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of Childhood Trash. You can follow us at Childhood Trash Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And you can follow Pia at Pia LaPlaca.
You can follow Maggie at Maggie and Keating.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
That's all I want when Christmas comes to town.